Constantly lose stuff? This tracker will help you find them. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the Chipolo One Spot. Now, let me start right off by saying the Chipolo One and the Chipolo One Spot are pretty different products. They look the same, although the One has more cheery colors, but the Spot means that it works with Apple's Find My network, which turns out to be really great because, like so many different tracking devices, they're only as good as the network of other mobile devices that are part of that network. So get onto the Find My network and you have hundreds of millions of phones out there in the world that can identify and help you find whatever you've tagged with this. Now, the obvious question is, how does it compare to the Apple AirTag? So just happen to have an Apple AirTag. So you can see here, it's a little bit bigger, but they did one thing that Apple didn't do, and I don't know why. Apple has this coin-like object, but there's no hole in it for a keychain or a loop or anything. The Chipolo has a significant advantage because it has that little hole right there on the front, and that means it's a whole lot easier to work with. Now, it is a third-party tracker. It works exclusively with Apple Find My. It can ostensibly give you out-of-range alerts through Find My, but it's important, Chipolo's app doesn't work with this. This is a third-party thing, right? This is going to look a whole lot like one of the Apple AirTags. In fact, they're even almost exactly the same price. But that also means that this gives you some capabilities with voice systems like Alexa, Siri, and Google to some extent. But most importantly, it gives you a nice audio tone up to 120 decibels to help you find something that's lost. I'll demo that in a second. It's IPX5 water resistant, so if you have it attached to your keys and you put them in the washing machine, it'll probably come out still functional. Not recommended, but for sure, if you actually leave them out and it's in a rainstorm, then you're gonna be okay with that. Not necessarily recommended, but it's how it is. And so then the question is, all right, well, how long does the battery last? And the answer is it's about a year battery life. So it's approximately the same as the Apple AirTag, and it uses a super common CR2032 little watch battery. It's about the size of a US dime, really easy. You literally put your fingernail in, pop it open, and the battery is right there, super easy to replace. And dimensions-wise, it's 1.5 inches by a 1/4 inch thick, and it comes in exactly one color, almost black. That's what this is. So cool. Now let's play with this a little bit. So first off, I want to show you how I paired it. And I did this not at home because I really like you, but I really didn't want to have my home address on a map. So I'm going to walk you through what I did. So first off, as you can see, you go into Find My. I already have the AirTag. That's what this is. This is computer bag. And I just said add new device. And then it says basically put the device near it and activate it, which is just a push. And then it sees the Chipolo and it adds it to the network, then giving me the opportunity to give it a meaningful name. And I gave it backpack. And then I could actually add an emoji. And I thought going with that backpacking theme, I'd do a tent. And then it's good to go. I am ready and it's on the network and I can see it on a map. Now, where that gets obviously really important is that this can then go far, far away. And, I'm actually going to be attaching this to my daughter's backpack. And if she loses or forgets her backpack at a friend's house or something, we can just go into Find My and see her backpack tag, which is arguably exactly what it is, but we can see the tag's last known location on a map. How handy is that? How many things do you lose? And then days or weeks or months later, you find out, oh, I left it in that drawer at work, or I left it at the nightclub because I forgot to grab my coat, or whatever it is, right? So there are many things in your life that I imagine would be benefited by you actually having one of these location tags. So let me fire up Find My, and I'll show you something else it can do too, which is really cool. Let's go to Items. And you'll notice I'm not showing you my screen because now I am back at my house and I don't want you to see it, right? But here's what I can do is I can play a sound. So if you've lost something, imagine being able to just have that trigger remotely, and then you're hearing and you're like, where? Oh, there are my keys. They're behind the couch cushion. Handy, right? So you can also have notifications, so you can notify when it's found if you've marked it as lost. You can notify when it's left behind, and I always do that except for one location, which is if I leave it at home, don't tell me because it's at home. That's okay. There's a lost mode. There's a lot of stuff. I really like Find My. It's a very well-designed piece of software that Apple not only makes available on mobile devices, but it's also available for your Macintosh or your iPad. So you can get a nice big map, and if you are like me, then you might have family members that also have Find My turned on, so you can track each other. So it's like like Mission Impossible, right? Where you're like, where is that person? There they are. But you can also do it with devices. You can do it with items. So I have this in my computer bag, and we're gonna have this in my daughter's backpack, and we'll always be able to know where the two of them are. Now, to be candid, if there is a super sophisticated thief, then I suppose they could steal something, dig through it, find something like this, and then just chuck it out the car window. But let's be realistic. That's not a situation that I'm dealing with. What I'm trying to manage is remembering where you left something. So if I have my computer bag everywhere and then I'm in a rental car and I leave it in the trunk and I forget about that, now with this device and this technology, certainly like with something like the Chipolo, I can then find it on a map and say, oh my God, I know where that is. I need to go deal. Really, really handy. I'm a big fan of these little tags. Some people do have some concerns about privacy, but I believe that if it's only registered to my Find My app, especially with Apple, I think they're more trustworthy than third-party companies. And if it's just registered with my app, no one else can see its location. And I will also hasten to say that, like, if you use this on a pet collar, then remember, this only works in as much as there are phones near it. So if your dog runs into a far forest and there's literally no devices within 5 miles, you're not going to find them. It doesn't work that way. That's not its purpose. But if your dog runs down the street and someone takes it into their apartment, to take care of the dog until they can find the owner, odds are pretty good that there's going to be an iPhone within 100 feet of there, and then that'll pick up this actual sort of ID messaging, and it'll be able to say, I've found this device. And so it'll report it to the network, and then your Find My will connect and find that because you're looking for them, and then you'll be able to see where they are on a map. Imagine how nice that would be next time you have a pet that runs away. But as some people have complained, this is not a GPS tracker per se. It requires the Find My network, which requires a network of Apple iPhones to be sort of like a mesh network, and then this exists within that network. And honestly, for most people, that is absolutely not a problem, and it is the exact same limitation that you have on the Apple AirTag. So that's everything I've got about the Chipolo One Spot, except we need to talk about the price. But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. A tap or a click on subscribe, and give me some feedback. What else do you wish I would have demonstrated about this? Or what did you find super helpful and interesting that I did demonstrate? Either way, super helpful. Okay, this is the Chipolo One Spot, and it is $28, or they have a promo right now for 4 of them for $90 at chipolo.net. 4 for $90 is a wicked good deal. Remember, these are $29 each, but Apple doesn't ever do quantity discounts or anything like that. So these are $29 each. If you want 4 of them, you can figure out it's a lot more than $90. And no little keyring hole. Big fan of the keyring hole. Makes it so much easier to work with. Anyway, that's what I got. I need to get this slipped into my daughter's backpack, and then I need to put this back in my computer bag. So I'll catch you in my next video.